So, a young lady has shared a situation on social media about something that happened between herself and her landlord. So, according to her, she said she needed to move out from the place she was. So, in a quest to find an apartment, she found one and there were red flags, but she ignored them at the time because, according to her, she just needed to move.
I think certain behaviors that are being normalized by Ghanaian landlords should actually stop, because I don't understand why I will come and rent a space and then instead of giving me 4 bunch of keys, you give me two. And I question you on why you are giving me 2 keys out of the 4, and you are making it known to me that, oh, fear, and that is your rule. You give me 2 keys and then the other 2 you keep it in case my key now, then you can use that to replace it.
Now, in her narration, she made us understand that when she was moving in, the landlord gave her 2 keys instead of 4. Now, if you've ever gone out to rent, you would understand that statement. When your landlord is handing your keys to you, it is always enforced. But he gave her 2, and his explanation was, what if she misplaced her keys and she needs spare? So usually he will keep 2 and she will keep 2. Now, at the time, she really didn't think much into it, though it made her uncomfortable. She also said that this landlord, after keeping 2 keys, when she brought a carpenter to come and change the key, he said no, that it's his house, it's his rule, and nobody is to change anything.
So I told my boyfriend that I wanted to change the locks. I got a carpenter and everything. And then this man was like, he has sanctified his house, so we cannot let anybody change the locks or anything. No one touches anything in that place. You cannot even do wallpaper on the wall. He said he had a solid reason why everywhere is white.
Also went on to say that the landlord said you cannot put any wallpaper on his walls in the house. He has painted the rooms white, and the way he has done it is perfect. So if you feel like you want to change anything, move out, because he doesn't like that. If you have any plumbing issues or any issue whatsoever in the house, come and tell him. Don't bring anybody to come and work on the house. Also, he does not accept tenants that have kids or are married. All his tenants are females, well, mostly, and then males. The males, he gives a lot of problems, and so most of them ended up moving out, or he ended up terminating their tenancy agreement and all of that. Now, she said when all of these things happened, just because from the beginning she needed a place urgently to stay, Charley obuneni gusu. Now, after a while, she also explained that this same landlord made it a thing to ensure that people don't befriend themselves in the compound, because according to her, obe say way, I'm away, now I say way, I'm away, and in the end you would be thinking a particular way about this person while the person thinks a different way about you. So quietly, she said she was there one day when one of the young ladies in the compound reached out to her, and approached her and told her that, oh, she has been noticing something, that whenever she steps out, the landlord comes into her room. And it's been happening for a while. So she should pay attention to it and see if there is something going on.
I came back from work and then I was going. Then one of the girls stopped me and she was like, oh, please, I don't know your name, but I've come to realize that the landlord has been entering your room when you are absent. And I'm like, entering my room? Said yes. It hasn't been the first, second, or third, so I should be vigilant. I said okay. So I put a camera. I saw the camera on top of my fridge. It looks like a cap. So I placed the camera there. There was just one time I was at work and then I got a notification that somebody has entered. So I checked the camera and it was the landlord.
Now, after she, heard that from the lady, she was taken aback because, hey, what is my landlord doing inside my room when I'm not around? So she decided to set up a hidden camera in her room. Now, she said after she puts the camera up, she caught the landlord opening her door and entering her room when she wasn't around. Now, according to her in the video, he walked straight past her living area, straight into the bedroom, and then went to her undie drawer to sniff her underwear.
I got a notification again, and then he entered the room, and to my surprise, this man goes into my room, searched through my things, pick my undies, and sniffs them. It wasn't a joke and it wasn't funny. Funny of all that is, he is a pastor. So I was wondering why that behavior.
To sniff her underwear. And in fact, she said that this landlord of a person is a pastor. But okay, let's not even drag it. Now, after he did that, or after she, came back and found that video, she was taken aback. So she went back to the lady to tell her what she had found. Because, hey, landlord sniffing my underwear there. Why is he sniffing my underwear? That lady as well shared her concern with her, indicating that this is something that has been happening. And the landlord, he's somebody that if you do something, he will take your matter and go and spoil you to this person and make sure he spoils your name, so much so that even when you try to redeem yourself, so the other lady then told her that, please give me some time to also gather my evidence so that we can take this man to the police station, because from what I am seeing, this man is a horrible person. Now, this lady then also told her that there's a third person in the house that is also suffering the same thing from the landlord. And with her cry there is shaking her relationship, because apparently the landlord had a relationship with that one, or some situationship with her, and she is currently pregnant, and the landlord is threatening her that if she doesn't get rid of it, he was going to disgrace her. Now, upon all of these findings, these ladies then decided that no, at this point there, it is not something that they can even go and fight him or try to exchange words. They had made up their mind that they were going to gather evidence and go to the police station. Now, she said when all of these, they were going around, trying to gather their own thing, but also trying hard not to be so obvious, because like I said, the landlord does not like them making friends with each other, which is actually very, very weird. But then she said she was in her room one Saturday. Now, according to her, she works on Saturdays, but that particular Saturday, because they had decided that they were actually going to confront him that day, so she decided to stay back. Now, she said in the early hours, like around 6 day, she hears her room door just say obi biepun, and she's like, who is trying to? So she takes the key from the mouth so the person can gain access. So she sees who is coming, and lo and behold, the landlord walks in, and she stretches and she's like, why is he in her room? And then this landlord is like, he heard her water flowing, that she had left her pipe on, and she was like, I'm in my house, so how is it that I've left my tap on, or you feel like my pipe is on, and you did not think to call me to tell me, have you left your pipe on, or have you left water on? You took key that apparently is supposed to be for if I misplace my key to come and open my room in my absence. And he's like, why is she saying that? He has come to check her room before, and he has seen that she's always leaving the pipe and all of that. And also, he comes to check the room because, like he told them, he has painted the walls white and he wants it to stay like that. And he has gone to other people's room to check, and the situation of their room, he's not happy. So, from moving on, he's going to come and be doing inspection in their room twice every month. Now, when the reason it wasn't making sense for the lady said, Masa, this thing you are saying there, it's not reason enough, because this thing you are saying right now, you are saying it just because I have caught you entering my room. And that was where he started to go off. And then this lady then laid her cards and said, is it because I caught you entering my room? And he's like, why would she say that? Then that was when she brought out the video and was like, I have a video of you entering my room and sniffing my Andy. This landlord tries to shadow the thing, talking about, it's not what it seems. Immediately, the second lady too came out and addressed the issue that he has done something similar to her, trying to intimidate her. And that the third lady too came. She came to talk about her own. Another lady too came. And mind you, this lady who is sharing her story also talked about how this landlord was also apparently sending pictures and videos of visitors she gets. So when people from outside comes to visit her friends, this landlord will take pictures and videos and send to her boyfriend. that look at your girlfriend, men are coming to visit her, this and that. And that is when, after this lady started to pour out their hearts, the male tenant who was there now said, the landlord has always come to complain that you are always leaving your pipe on. And she was like, no, nothing like that. Now this is the situation. After he heard everything, the guy now said, so this is why you are always accepting single young ladies, and every time a man comes to stay here, you try to fight him till he leaves. So the male tenants now joined these ladies, and then they went to the police station to report the issue, and they had him arrested. Now, in her story, she said she is sharing this story to let people know that, Charley, no matter how much you're looking for, a place to move, no matter how desperate you are, make sure that you don't ignore the red flags. Make sure you pay attention to these things. Make sure you avoid apartments where the landlord is there and he's single, especially if he lives in that same house, because it's likely that he will come and be doing things like this. Now, if you ask me, I genuinely pick on her message. You understand? I genuinely pick on her message, because when I started watching the video and she said, he gave her 2 keys, that would have been my cue to say toodles. Like, you won't see me again. Because what do you mean by you're giving me 2 keys out of 4 keys? As who? As what? And okay, you've taken the keys, and me, I want to change. And it's not like I'm changing the whole frame. I'm changing the cylinder in the key, because you can change that cylinder itself. You say no. That would be my cue to leave. Like, I wouldn't even push further. I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't care. Because to me, safety first. But you see, we live and we learn. You understand? We do not know what situation she was in that she needed to move out of, so much so that she felt like these red flags were not red flags enough to pay attention to. You understand? So that was why she came to share her story. Now, after sharing this story on Twitter, people asked her a few questions. So after sharing the first part, she came to clarify some things in the second part. And I mean, it made, people understand the whole story a lot more. Now, someone said, explaining plenty won't do anything unless she's just chasing for clicks. Just submit the evidence you have to the police to take over, in my own opinion. You see, this is one problem I have with people. If you had watched that video to the end, you would get that she said he's been arrested. And she is sharing this story so that someone will watch it and keep in the back of her mind or his mind that when they go and rent and they hear things like this, they shouldn't even take it, because things like this could happen to them. Because in her story, she said one of the ladies, this man has walked in on one of the ladies talking about, Aden Adebia Ushenika. He will call you at night and telling you he has seen some prophecy or so. Another person said, if they invite her to submit the evidence, I hope she'll be able to provide it to protect others from such beasts, unless she's looking for engagement. Ghanaians. Social media is so choked with fake stories and cooked up things that we cannot even tell what is real from what is fake. And if this story is made up, right? It is still something to learn from. It is still something to take some wisdom from. Now, another person said, I stand with her on this matter. However, the idea of changing locks is what I didn't buy into. Should a tragedy happen in your absence, how does the landlord get prompt access to your room? Break down the door. You break down the door. You do not keep spare key to my apartment unless I want you to. Unless I want you to. And that is how, when someone rents an apartment, right, in their 4 keys that they have a key that they put somewhere. They have a key that they have someone that lives around them that they give their keys to. You understand? So I do not see why a landlord should feel like he's entitled to keep my keys by fire, by force, whether I like it or not. And from what she was explaining, she has a boyfriend. He could have kept the spare keys. You understand? If anything happens and you feel like, it's as giddy, and you feel like, it's something, break down the door. Break it down. That's how it works. Break it down. Anyways, I hope people who watch and listen to this will not just listen with the idea of trying to challenge her. She has come to share her experience. Let's take what we have to take from it. Anyways, that's all we have for this story. We'll bring you guys more when we have them. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. This has been What's They Go On here at the Yo Charley Studios. We'll catch you on the next one.